tasty. Though we should do introductions because I forgot to start the video recording. So, Aaron.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone. How you doing?
Missy. Martin. Okay. This corner, that corner. Depends where it is.
So many corners.
So horrible. Yes.
I love my picture.
Your picture's horrible. All right. What Colosseum are we doing right now? Is this what number are we up to anyway? Is this the 20th?
23rd?
The worst one out of all of them.
It's this is the 20th. No, the 19th. Because next week is the power play.
Get a lot of power plays. Gonna watch Monty Python.
Monty Python power plays.
See,
19th. Told ya.
But I think I haven't already added something, so this might be actually it.
What did you not add?
Did I add? No, I didn't. Zodiac is not added to it. This is it.
Wow.
Which means Power Play starts up next week.
So we choose.
Well, technically this week.
Yeah.
Because we choose.
Yeah.
So while we're doing the podcast, think about what you want.
I can't do two things.
Can't.
Anyway, what movie are we doing for the 20th Colosseum?
Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
The greatest movie ever.
Oh, here we go.
I know.
Swear to fucking God, Martin. If you bring this score down.
Oh, don't worry, I am.
Monty Python
break your
and
tiny
the
legs.
Holy Grail was released in 1975.
It is basically the Holy Grail to Rotten Tomato.
You got a 97 on Rotten,
Ooh.
8.3 IMDb, and 93 Metacritic, 94 Google users.
Only 94?
And those are all justified.
No, they're not.
That's surprisingly high all around.
Yeah, because it's great.
Can't fault this movie.
It had a
Oh, you
budget
can.
of, what, $229,000?
$200? $200.
GBP? Is that... What's GBP?
Is that
Great
pounds?
Britain
It's not
pounds.
Yeah, it's
Is
pounds.
that great? Really?
I just guess that.
No, I
It's
think
Great
it is
Britain
pounds.
There's
pounds.
no... Wait, is it really 200,000? That's how much it took to make this movie?
Are you fucking surprised?
Actually, wait, it would have been a lot back then, though, wouldn't it?
Well, it's...
Pounds are more than Australian
Yeah.
dollars.
Yes,
though.
it was a
A
lot
lot
of money. But it's not the point. Even if you said it was like 10 times the amount, like now, it's $2 million.
I think you could make it for $200 now.
I think we could make it for free
Have you seen the
now.
price of coconuts? Fuck off.
It's true. When I watched this a few years ago and I went and bought a coconut to make, like, for that.
To attach it to a swallow.
I went to the supermarket and I was looking for a coconut and they're like, ooh, what you making? And I'm like, horses. And it was really hard to open it and stuff, but they were expensive. I think I paid like $7 for one coconut.
Yeah,
So worth
swallow
it.
import fee.
Mm-hmm.
So many mentions of swallows.
Even in that little side, there was a scene where it was background characters and they were talking about swallows.
Yeah.
Oh, there's swallows mentioned throughout the movie.
It was quite surprising. I never heard that one before. Also, the way the movie starts up
With the credits.
is fucking hilarious.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
I thought you would have
Pisses
skipped
me off.
it. And I was prepared to get angry at you for missing the first joke.
No,
Why would
because
I skip it?
I've never seen that ever before watching it. Like, I'd never seen
I
the
feel
credits.
like we had it on VHS and that part wasn't there.
No, it was.
It's always been there.
It was like, now the credits are going to be rushed and at great expense.
Also, it was all about llamas.
Yeah. It was something. It was moose and then it was llamas.
Yeah, there was something about moose because they had to fire the credits people.
Yeah.
And then it was more, and then they started crediting all the moose.
Because a
and-
moose bit his sister. And then they were like, don't worry, we fired those writers. And then they had to fire the people that fired the writers because they were still talking about moose. And
Oh,
then
and
the
then they
next
fired
people were
everyone,
talking
didn't they?
about llamas.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone's
And
fired.
then they fired everyone that starts up like all Mexican.
Yeah.
What a
It's just so weird. But like, the reason it probably only cost that much is because they already did the Flying Circus, didn't they? The skit show.
Yeah.
So they were already established and they were TV actors.
And they
Yeah,
probably
that's what I
had
thought.
props.
Yeah. And so that's probably just like they used a lot of what they already had. A lot of the actors probably weren't getting paid ridiculous amounts of money.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
don't know. And it's England, like that's just what it looks like.
the enthusiasm of the people doing the coconuts in the background sometimes, it was like, whatever.
When there was a no, that main one was fucking on point. Like the one with
first
Arthur.
guy?
Yeah, the one with Arthur. But then when they had, it was like 5 or 6 of them.
Yeah.
I saw one in the background. He was fucking lagging. He wasn't even doing it properly.
Yeah, the background people didn't give a shit. Probably because they didn't get paid.
Well,
Yeah.
the first guy, when he's like tick, 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 and then they stop, and he's like, whoa, tick, tick, tick. And he does it so fucking perfectly. I tell you,
I
it
love-
was great. I could have believed he was riding a horse.
What about when the horses get spooked when they go near the rabbit? And it's just all the people going,
Fucking Patsy.
Like a dumb movie. Also, how many people did fucking John Cleese play?
All of them.
Oh yeah.
Is it most? It was like 60% of the cast was fucking John Cleese.
So
Like I think
I
Arthur's
move
character
for
only
no
played.
man.
What is it? Arthur's character only played like 3 people, I think.
Yeah, I'd say everyone played a minimum of 3 people, but Cleese was like 7.
He did play quite a few people.
Like Tim the Enchanter. It's just making explosions everywhere. That's me with powers.
Just showing them off.
Yeah.
It's fucking weird.
Martin, what was your thoughts on the intro and the start?
The intro pissed me off. Sitting there, I was like, am I meant to be reading this? And Rachel's like, no, it's just the intro. It's like, no, this is the
I
fucking
knew
credits.
that's how it would go.
Yeah.
These are the fucking credits. It's like, what the fuck is the point of this?
It was
Did you
they
notice
made
down
the
the
credits
bottom?
fun.
The
No.
bottom was like so you had the credits and then you had the weird like
The
subtitles,
thing.
Yeah.
but they're written weirdly.
Yeah.
But then you start waiting, like, wait a minute, that's just normal letters, but like with some lines through it or some weird
No,
shit.
it was like, I don't know if it's like Gaelic or
Yeah, that's the one.
Swedish or whatever, but yeah. That was so weird. A moose bit my sister. I just can't.
It was just weird things that you're like, I don't know why this is here.
Also, when you realize that they came from a skit show and then you watch this movie knowing that, you're
Oh, it's
like,
skits.
it's just skits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With like
All on theme though.
yeah, with
Yeah.
a long overhauling theme that
Yeah.
goes through it.
It's great.
Fucking also, they're so memorable.
Everything is memorable. That's why people like it. Like, just one of my favorite is when he's in the tower with the maidens.
That's the one I was thinking
That's so
of.
great. Because at first, like, you can tell he's genuinely, like, he's only concerned about the Grail.
Yeah.
But by the end of it, he's like, realizes what he could possibly be having.
It's because they mentioned oral.
Yeah, no.
The minute they say oral, he's like,
I guess I
can
could
stay.
stay.
Yeah, I can stay for a little bit. And then they save him from the peril. He's like, I can have a little bit of peril. And they're like, no peril.
Like, easily the best is like such a small joke when they go to Camelot and they see the castle and they're like trying to say how good it is.
Oh,
and
and
the
he's
guy's
like-
like, it's only a muddle.
Yeah, it's only a model.
It's the one time that guy speaks. The fucking horse.
It's just out of the blue. And, like, you know, it's so bitter. It's like he's annoyed that he's, like, happy to see it. And he just has to squash that.
Out of
I
all
don't
the
know.
skits, what do you think is the most memorable one? Or from, you say the Knight.
Yeah,
You
the
reckon
Black Knight.
The Black Knight. The wall one got turned into a meme though.
If you think of Monty Python, everyone always goes, oh my god, the Black Knight, before the other guy.
Come see the problems inherent in the system.
See,
He's like, I'm being repressed.
why are they just stacking
I'm
mud?
being repressed.
Yeah, I
With the
know.
whole scene, I saw them just picking up grass and mud and
Did
just
you hear her in the beginning? She's like, come over here, there's some great filth over here.
the river scene where they're walking across and a guy's just smacking a stick into water. Like they didn't know what they did back then, so they're like, just pretend to be like.
What about when he's like, bring out your dad, but before it pans to him, the people are just rolling around in the mud and in the filth.
There's like a lady smacking a cat against the wall, like beating the dust out of it.
Part of like my love of this movie is the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like,
Yeah.
like the world is just a fucked up world. Like, you got no chance.
It's like they just told the extras to do shit.
Yeah.
They had no real point. Just like do shit. No one's looking.
And
at
they're
you.
like, and as weird as you can without disrupting the main actors.
Yeah.
So it's like, I am fishing, and he's just beating a stick into the water for no reason. There was no purpose.
Oh fuck! What about the witch where they're like, how he comes
my
to the conclusion
God.
that she's a witch, but it's real, like she is a witch, and she's just like fair cop kind of thing.
Yeah.
But like, I wanted to remember it for the podcast. The way they came to that conclusion, so illogical.
Do you think that was a conversation they had at some point? Because
Probably.
it sounds like a dumb conversation.
It almost sounds
But-
unscripted, and they just kept going
Yeah.
with it. But I love, like, it's.
It
so
sounds like
But
some
what
of
is
the dumb
also made out of
conversations.
wood.
Like if we would have, some of our conversations where it just keeps getting inherently worse, but almost sounds plausible or logical to it.
It's like a duck.
And when
Yes.
when Arthur says a duck, and he's like, "Aha, a man of science." It's like, fuck up.
But he says it so like I know this answer.
Yeah, right?
A duck.
He's so like, you stupid commoners. It's so clearly a duck.
Also, when he first goes to that scene, he's tying a fucking coconut to a swallow.
Yeah,
I know.
to a dove.
Just in the background, you see him
dove,
trying to tie
Yeah.
it to it. That was fucking great. Oh, there's too many good things in the movie. Like, you've got the common ones that everyone knows about, like the knights that say knee.
Yeah.
And like the
It's funny.
shrubbery and...
I forgot about that.
Did you
While watching
really?
this
Oh my
movie,
God.
that was the least thing I know. And I know that's probably the most overused one out
Yeah.
of probably all of them.
Mm.
What about just how the shrubber comes along?
I'm a shrubber.
Fucking weird show.
So dumb.
I want to watch it again, kinda.
No, you really
It is
don't.
actually a lot funnier.
Right?
I remember. Like,
Now that I'm
yeah.
watching it
I'm
properly.
so glad you found it funny.
I
Like,
thought it'd be so old now. Like, I will admit, there's like 2 or 3 skits in there that were just like,
A bit-
oh yeah, they're a bit long, bit dragged
Yeah.
out. Like,
The whole movie seemed dragged out to me.
you don't like English humor? You don't like fucking 1975 English humor?
See,
Yeah.
I like English, like the Black Books, Red Dwarf,
Yeah.
all those English things. But this one here, it just seemed way too long. And I think because the fucking credits, at the start of the movie, just
it
after
tilted
that,
you, but
after that, it's just like, nah, fuck this.
Starting
Wow.
with the credits is one of the funniest skits because everything about all these skits is you're not supposed to figure out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Mm.
It's always not what you think is going to happen is
Yeah,
generally
yeah.
the idea.
Like, if you'd never watched it, you'd be like, why is this happening?
Mhm.
And yeah, it just keeps getting more bizarre, basically.
Like, once he takes off the 2 arms of the Black Knight,
It
and he
was
sits
great.
down to make a prayer,
Yeah.
and then he just gets kicked in the head, and he's
That's
still
my
going.
favourite.
It's probably my favorite scene.
That's my
He's like, "Come on,
favorite couple
how
of
about you?"
seconds where he just kicks him in the head because I'm like, yeah, that's something like. I honestly, the more I watch stuff like this, like old humor stuff, the more I'm like, this is why I'm a fuckhead now.
Yeah.
Because as a kid, I watched this over and over.
Oh my god. Fucking.
Oh wait, but I was gonna say for the dragged out ones, the 2 guards in the tower with the prince.
Yeah.
That scene is
Oh,
so
that
dragged
one-
out.
That's
and that
probably
looked
the
like-
only thing that could be cut out,
Mm.
but that's the whole skit for that particular night.
Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
like, if you didn't have that night, like, everyone else had their skit. Well, all the main guys had their own skit. That was his skit, but it wasn't as good as the rest.
But
So-
he's Sir Robin, and he was the shrubber. Do you know what I mean?
Oh.
Also, that the night one, the right knight, is King Arthur's character, and he's on the hiccups. He only, that's what I mean.
Right.
The one on the
yeah.
right, he had the hiccups, and King Arthur's character was also the middle 3-headed big knight.
Mhm.
I forgot about that guy.
Because there's the only other ones I get confused with the 2 is the high pitched guy
Yeah.
and the one who's at the start talking about being repressed. He is the dad, wasn't he, in the wedding? Was he the dad?
Honestly, I lost track of everyone.
Oh, yeah.
I was trying to picture how many of them were in, like, how many roles they were
Other
playing.
than Cleese. But then I couldn't remember what happened to his character. Like, when they get to the point when they're meeting the sorcerer and everything, like, just every time he was another character, I'm like, where are we supposed to think his character is right now? Did he die? And I've forgotten because all of a sudden for the next 3 scenes, he was 3 different people.
I only noticed when they do the fighting the rabbit,
Yeah.
and the guy said he shat himself or something.
Yeah.
He says for him to leave and go clean up. But then that guy is the actor bringing the holy hand grenade.
Yeah.
So it's like they gave a reason to get rid of his knight
Yeah.
so he could play another character.
When they
So
first
weird.
approached the Black Knight fighting the Green Knight,
Hmm.
he slaughters the Green Knight, pulls out the sword out of his head, and then as they walk up, there's no one
Yeah.
in front of
Body's
him.
gone.
Right?
Because he was one of the actors. I don't know which one
Yeah.
he was, but like obviously he was needed for the rest of the scene because
Yeah,
he's not
that
on
was
the
the
floor
first
anymore.
thing I said to Kane. I'm like, "Where's his body now? I don't remember missing bodies." Like,
Also, why is he like a
Ugh.
competent fighter? And as soon as he starts fighting Arthur, he's like putting all his weight into each swing and like just looking like a dickhead.
and like he swings next to him, and then Arthur has to move his sword into the blow, and he's
Yeah.
like, "Okay, okay." Like it's good. You can tell that action's really their thing.
What about the like fuck CGI? Let's just draw it.
Oh
In-
my god,
Oh,
the monster.
That's so good.
I
love how
so
they
many
do
of the
that.
weird drawn things. Well, like when he goes outside and he's yelling at the clouds and the sun, and he's like, "Fucking weather!" Like it's
That
so
scene, the
dumb.
guy running down the staircase, like all the
Oh,
way
that
down the
was
stairs,
so
and just
annoying.
keeps going every level.
What about as he's approaching the castle and he's just running at the guards.
That is my that.
and
is
then
like,
running at the guards.
That's why when that scene came up, I laughed before it even happened because I remembered what scene it was.
Yeah.
And then he's just suddenly there, just stabbing
He's
him
like, "I got," stabs him, and then he starts killing everybody
indiscriminately.
at the wedding. And then when finally the guy brings him down, like, and he realizes who he is, and they're like, "There's the murderer," and he just starts fighting again, killing people.
Yeah, he's like, "Sorry, I get carried away." Like, and when he tries to like make a different exit, he's like, "Yeah, I can't just walk out. Like, I've got to go out with a grand exit." Grabs onto the rope, swings out of the scene. That would have been good, but no. Then he swings back, and then he's stuck. He's like, "Could someone give me a push?" It's like, that was one thing where I wish that they'd let him just swing out of the scene and actually be semi-competent.
That's like English humor, though.
Yeah,
I know, but he'd already done so much damage.
I know. Like, they couldn't have just let him swing out. They had to have that last little prank.
It's good of him to ask for help from the people whose, family
That's
members
supposed to
he's
be the
just
funny
killed.
part, though.
I know.
Like, but I know what you mean. It would have been cooler if he just swung out.
Also, do they mock God a lot in this?
Oh, yeah.
And
Yeah.
They mock everyone.
no, because just a bunch of times of the whole religion and stuff like that, the reading of the holy hand grenade,
Oh my
and it's
God.
pretty much the begat and this
Yeah.
and begat that, and he's like, skip it forward a bit, kind of thing, to get to it.
And the counting. Like, you got to count to 3, not 5. If you get
But
to 5,
That was a really cool thing you pointed out, that he couldn't count to 3 before,
yeah.
and then he fucks up counting to 3 again.
Yeah, they made a point of it. Because he said, "Oh, there's only, what did he say? It killed 5 of us, or there's 5 of us left, or 3 of us left, or whatever." And they're like, "No, 3." And he's like, "Oh, sorry, yeah." And then it's like, oh God, he can't count to 3.
That's why the guy's like, not 4. 4
Definitely
not.
not.
Yeah.
5 is way out of the park. Not 2 unless it's preceded by 3.
Yeah, right.
Also, is that the first appearance of the holy hand grenade? Because I just remember it from Worms and like other things.
It's in everything.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's
What's the
where it all came
origin?
from. That's it.
You reckon it is?
Yeah,
the
I
holy,
think so.
the holy hand grenade.
Yeah.
So good.
Kind of dumb, but it's really good.
Like, it's hard to see it coming from a movie before something made in 1975.
I feel like Tim could have blown up that rabbit. They didn't need to use the grenade. Like,
But
Tim's
see-
blowing up mountains. He can't blow up a rabbit.
That's
Yeah.
another scene where you're like, if you're watching this, he spoke about a monster, and then you see a rabbit, so it looks like Tim's a dickhead.
Yeah.
But then when the guy walks up to it and the fucking rabbit just flies at his head, you're like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, the fucking enchanter's great, and then like he's truly petrified when he's there, kind of thing. It just flies at him and like rips his head off.
And then
The
it's
fight
like,
scene where they're all together, and you can see
Oh
the
my
rabbit being
God.
pulled through by string between all.
but what about the like 2 minutes of Tim just going, I told you, like, and they're like, shut up, like, go away. And he's like, oh, I told you about the rabbit. He's just,
I like when they come out and he's like, how many of us are left? He's doing a count, and then he's like, maybe we could continue running away. It's great.
Oh, God. There's...
it's still pretty fucking funny.
It's pretty good. Except how annoying is the Trojan rabbit?
Oh,
Oh.
my God.
That
We
was
could be-
stupid.
The giant
Like,
wolf.
So we
Ugh.
jump out. Also, when you hear them, like, he's at the fucking wall and he's listening into the woods as they build the
Yeah.
rabbit.
Yeah, and it's just like metalwork and saws and stuff. And he's like, is there anything? It felt like playing a video game where the guards don't see you, even though you're like right next
Oh
to
my
them.
God.
He's like listening to metalwork happening, and then he's like, nothing. Oh, the fucking Trojan rabbit, though.
The Trojan
That
rabbit.
made me so angry. I'm like, they're not even in it. God damn
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
the
but
first- the
to be
first-
fair, it's like good that they weren't in that Trojan rabbit because they fired it over the wall anyway.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Well, the first time I watched it, like, was a long time ago, but I remember distinctly thinking.
1975.
Sorry,
1975.
1975.
He was already old at that point too.
fuck off. No, I remember them pushing. I'm like, but who's in it? Well, then it's obviously no one's in it. I'm
Yeah,
like,
because they show
fuck
the
it.
people off to the side, and then they show all the main people, and you're like, hang on a minute, if they're all there.
It's great.
It's bad.
It's the best Trojan horse ever.
Well, it's a
That was-
rabbit, but I know.
The dumbest. It's like
It's-
the dumbest shit.
Ugh. So much of it's dumb. It's so dumb. It makes you think of like if you were given a camera in high school and told like make a movie, a medieval movie, and you made this. That's what it is. But
Yeah.
John Cleese did it.
John Cleese.
I still love the fucking the political one near the beginning, and he's like, watery tarts,
Oh, that's what I was
throwing
thinking.
swords. There's no basis for a system of government.
Yeah, I know, it's so funny.
They really commit to that scene because it
That's
goes on for like
such-
5 minutes.
It's a
or
long
something.
scene, and it really sounds political as fuck.
Watery tarts. Far out. I love that. From the mud scrapers, like.
I keep thinking of what's the one where it just pans and it's talking about the hut that King Arthur's in. And it gets closer and closer, and then you just see the guy, and he's just laughing while he's like, "Where's the Grail?" And he's like,
Oh
just laughing
yeah,
the whole.
that creepy old man.
I love that guy. That's probably my favorite. Is the Bridge of Death or Doom or something like that?
Not the fucking thing.
Because that's another one where you just like he goes across and he just answers everything
Yeah.
all clearly, walks it, and then the other guy comes across, and what was it? What is the capital?
The
of-
capital of somewhere, and he's like,
Oh.
"Oh, I don't know," because the other guy got asked his name, his quest, and his favorite color.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that guy gets asked something so hard.
But then the next
This
guy
guy-
gets his favorite color. And
I
he's like,
know.
blue. No.
I know, because you think, oh yeah, easy. Like he got asked his favorite color, and he gets it wrong. Like,
But it's
Uh.
funny because a lot of people would be in that situation.
They say
I could imagine myself doing that because I've never really thought about my favorite color until I heard that.
Mm.
I'm still not even sure. So I'd be like, "It's this." Wait, no, I like this more. And it's like, "That's too bad. You
That's
fucked
it.
up.
yeah,
You're dead."
you're gone.
Fucking great.
and for some reason the king knows about swallows, African swallows.
So much about swallows.
Well, he doesn't
A
really. It
lot.
probably is just because the conversation he had with the
At the very start.
yeah.
Yeah,
at
well,
the
he said a
start.
king's got to know these things, so
He started that conversation.
Yeah.
He like ruined the rest of the cast because they're all just running around talking about swallows carrying coconuts.
What about as his left because he's sick of this bullshit and they're still going on about it? He's like, well, maybe if it two of them carried a line under their main dorsal guiding thing, a feather or some shit, and they're just going really deep into it.
The fact that he gets to cross the bridge because he's like, what kind of swallow?
Yeah.
Like African
just
or
blows up.
European?
the other guy gets thrown in, like the controller of it, the questioner,
He got it wrong. He's like, I don't know that.
and then
So
it's
bad.
like pretty much the end, isn't it, with the weird boat that it's like supposed to look like a great scene, and then it just sails to an island
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
another French castle with a bunch of French fucks at
Bloody
the top of it again.
French John
The
Cleese.
ending, the fucking was weird.
The
Yeah.
fucking ending, I always hated the ending so much.
Yeah.
That was
Because
just
it just
stupid.
ends with first of all, when was that scene where
When the
they're
murder
filming a
happened?
documentary and a knight
Yeah.
comes by and
That's right at
kills-
the start.
that's near the start?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I reckon it's like in the first third of the movie.
It's right at the start because I was
Because
like,
they show clips of it like through the movie.
yeah, because I was watching it. It's like, I bet you this is going to go on through the whole movie. This bit, and of course it did, and that was the reason why the ending sucked.
I like to imagine that it's not really like the Dark Ages. It's just 1975. Just England.
That's what it feels like.
And no one can afford horses.
That like last scene with all the extras. I'm pretty sure that's where all the money went.
Yeah, maybe.
They'd do it for free. I'd be in a movie for free.
Why don't you sign up to the Mortal Kombat movie?
I got shy.
Jesus. There's like probably dozens of like things we didn't even think to talk about. But
It's
Like-
probably good you didn't talk about him.
Why?
It was shit.
Carl, at least tell me there had to have been one scene you found funny.
Something got chuckles out of you. Come on.
Yeah, the black screen at the end where it's just music.
And that,
Hated
that
that
gave you a
scene.
laugh?
Yeah, because I was sitting there the whole time waiting for the credits, the proper credits to roll.
Yeah,
again.
and then there are none.
And there was none. And just,
Yeah.
it just because we watched it on DVD, on a Blu-ray.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just going through, and then it just stops. The
Yeah,
just
it
shuts
just
off.
stops. And then we were like, is there more? We fast
We
forwarded,
checked
and it was
it,
like,
just
what?
black. I'm like, it's black for like another 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's the music. The music gets more intense though.
Does it?
Oh my god, the music in this movie.
Oh my god. Talk
It's
about
the- it's-
recycling.
It's like 2 or 3 songs at max, and
just different speeds.
it just keeps getting louder at some parts. It's like da 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 da, da, and then it cuts to something else, and then cuts back louder.
Yeah.
When on other times when you think it's a different song, it just changes back into that one song.
Well, they do that with the Green and Black Knight. As they're approaching, you just
That's the part, yeah.
and it's just loud, and then it goes back to him just.
It's so
and switches
annoying.
back. It's great.
It's so
No.
abrupt.
It was made really badly.
No.
Everything about this it had purpose, and this might be the one movie to kind of weirdly break the rule of it's meant to be cheap and dumb.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it was designed that way.
Like
Yeah.
I don't.
You
know,
gave them more money. I don't think
you
it's
wouldn't
going
have
to be
gained
better.
anything out
Yeah.
of it. Like
Mhm.
you definitely couldn't have paid for better actors because they acted the way that they needed to for this humor. And prop sets, I think, like it's funny because it's cheap
Yeah.
in some ways. And yeah, I really don't think it would gain anything by having more expensive props. So
It's a really weird movie in the sense it set out to do what it wanted to do,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
definitely couldn't be remade. Like,
Yeah, it'd be a weird remake if you
Yeah.
were going to try and do one.
it wouldn't. No one
don't
could
think you
ever do it
could.
justice.
The
So
only way you could remake this is if you tried to do a weird sequel.
yeah, I suppose.
So you don't have to like.
Are they even all alive? I doubt it.
No.
Well, no,
They
it
all got
wouldn't be
arrested.
with them.
They all
Yeah, they got arrested.
You idiot.
The next one's in jail.
Hmm.
Just like all these nights in jail.
You
What are they
What is
called?
it? Kniggets?
Kniggets? Yeah,
Kniggets.
Kniggets.
I can Knigget.
That's my
Your
favorite
mother
thing.
smells of elderberries.
Your mother was a hamster, and your father.
Oh,
smelled
father
of
smelled of elder.
elderberries.
Oh shit!
Mm.
Someone's listening and remembers things.
Your old
When
age
I
is
was a-
showing.
When I was
What?
a kid,
Your
that's...
old age is showing.
As a kid, that's what we'd all call each other at school.
Kniggets.
No,
Hamsters?
we'd say that their mother was a
Oh.
hamster. Or, yeah. Anyway, it was.
And I
good.
bet most of them didn't know what the fuck you were talking about.
No, I didn't have many friends. It's weird now that I think back. You little Kniggets.
You little Kniggets.
Wonder like how popular this movie was because it did well, clearly critically.
Yeah.
I feel like most people have seen this.
I think nearly everyone's seen this because everyone I spoke to about it was surprised that I hadn't
What
seen
like
it.
age
Yeah.
though? Do you know what I mean? Like before, everyone born in this year is probably knows it about it. Like 90s, maybe. Afterwards, I feel like you're probably not likely.
My kids have seen
Yeah.
it.
Your kids will see it. So a lot of people who either grew up with this would show people with it. Like,
But the thing is, it was watched a lot by, I suppose, geeks. I would assume.
like when we were growing up, this
Um,
was on TV. What, 20 years after its first release, it was still on TV.
It
That's a
still
long-
is, isn't it? I thought
I
it was
haven't
on
watched
TV.
normal TV in a long time,
couple
so I
years
wouldn't
ago.
know.
I don't have normal TV.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people that
La-di-da.
didn't find it funny.
Yeah, it's very, like,
Select humor.
yeah, you're
Yeah.
going to either
Mm.
hate it or love it. There's no way you'd be like, I like certain parts. It's
Yeah.
like, it's all the same style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, there's only a handful of skits that are probably long-winded and maybe they were trying to maybe ad-lib a bit in it.
Yeah.
It's something.
It's nothing.
It's definitely something.
I'm gonna watch some of their Flying Circus because it's all on Netflix.
I really want to see
Oh,
it.
is
I've
it?
never
Heaps
seen
is on
it.
Netflix.
When you
Ooh.
told me about that, I remember actually watching the Flying Circus stuff. I didn't mind
Right.
that. I watched
That's
that.
more like
The movie though, I just
Red
didn't like it.
Red Dwarf. Like okay, Red Dwarf is set in space and the Flying Circus isn't.
Yeah.
But the style of humor is much and like
But
Blackadder.
Yes, but it's a lot
Like-
shorter. The skits are a lot shorter and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Blackadder.
Blackadder's funny.
I fucking hated Blackadder.
I've got all of Blackadder.
I hate it so much.
Monty Python only made $5 million at the box office.
Back
Funny.
then, that was a fair bit though.
5 mil from 220,000.
Yeah, I know it's great, but I'm like, they deserve
Is that
hundreds of mils.
5 mil US or 5
Hey.
mil Great like Britain?
It's a great question.
Where does it say?
Nobody knows in the Wikipedia
I
area.
can't see the screen, so
Is that like 20 times the budget?
Yeah, it's pretty damn good if that's still in pounds.
If that's in pounds. Oh, wait.
We
If
could...
it's box office is American, isn't it?
no, not always. Depends on where it's
I'll
released.
check.
If that's 5 million in pounds, they made 20 times their budget with this movie. That's incredible.
Why did I?
That's
That's
better than
weird.
so many other things.
And holy...
Well, just click on the Wikipedia and it might tell us the budget in American dollars.
yeah. Tell
No.
us. Tell us.
Yeah.
Where? No, it says.
So
Oh.
400,000 there, yeah.
So in American, the budget was 400 and they made 5
5
mil.
times.
That's still
It's still pretty good.
It's pretty good.
yeah.
Like,
So what's that? 10, 12 times
Yeah.
their budget back.
pretty
That's
damn fucking good.
really good. Most movies these days can't even come close to that.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like 5 mil in 1975.
Hmm.
That's fucking good.
I guess it was popular then.
Yeah,
If
it must have
made
been.
that. It must have got a lot of like people coming back and rewatching it, or
Yeah.
word
Make
of mouth traveling.
Buy a lot of speed back then for that price.
They've probably used a lot.
They were probably on something. Some of the shit they fucking come up with.
It's pretty good.
If anything, it's kind of like that. It'd be interesting to know the like. I'd love to watch a documentary, on maybe like the art of comedy. But there's a thing of things will get funnier as long as you keep throwing it in at like a certain point.
Oh,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
And come back to
Referencing
it.
back to things.
Yeah.
Well, stand-up comics do that all the time.
Yeah, no, it's like one of the arts of it.
Yeah.
It's a show I've just finished watching. Letterkenny that does that.
I've heard of that.
They just use the same thing over again.
Letterkenny, I watched some of that. It's so weird.
The TV series or the YouTube stuff?
YouTube stuff.
Watch the TV series if you can find it.
All right.
It's actually a continuation. Like the story continues on constantly,
Oh, okay.
and it's actually kind of funny. It's just Canadian stand up type of people.
I'm just reading some fun facts about it, and I love the fact that they couldn't afford horses. So they stole the coconut thing because someone who did a TV show on the BBC used to do coconuts for the horse sounds. So they're
They
like,
just actually
yoink.
showed the people
Yeah,
with the coconuts.
That's the best thing.
Oh wait, does that mean if they had the budget, they would have got horses?
Probably.
I don't know. I
'Cause
reckon
that would have been sad then.
I reckon it's pretty good with the coconuts.
Yeah, it's one of the
Yeah.
They
funniest
probably
things.
would have, to save money, still done the coconuts.
Unless
because
they
it's
had
so
horses
funny.
and they used the coconut sound to dub over it.
Yeah, or they're riding the horses doing the coconuts.
Because they're on wood. You would not have heard the horses
Yeah.
that way. They're on dirt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no.
You wouldn't have heard the sounds the same way.
Also, this is. Did they say it was in Scotland or
Yeah,
England?
Scotland.
Is that for all the castles? and
Particularly around I can't something castle.
It's the same fucking castle constantly.
shit? I was
Yeah.
gonna say it's the same.
It's either the same castle or a model.
Yeah, they said
It's
all
only a
of
model,
the
yeah.
interior castle scenes were shot in one castle.
Yeah.
It's
All
pretty
of them.
fair.
So when the knights of Camelot were all dancing around and singing,
Oh, what about Sir Robin, the song, when he's singing
Sir
the
Robin
song?
the Brave,
Yeah.
Sir
and
Robin the
I
Coward.
love
The
that.
coward. It's so good.
Did you know that Pink Floyd, Led Zeppelin, and Genesis invested in the movie? They were trying to fundraise to even be able to make it, and they all invested money.
They
Fuck
must
yeah.
have been a fan of their like past work. I
Yeah.
guess, the surface
Yeah, that's
That's
amazing.
what I was trying to find out. Is this their first movie or is this one of their later movies?
thing.
Is
Isn't
Life
this-
of Brian before or after
I thought this is the last one, isn't it?
I can't remember. But like you were saying, like, do they make fun of God? Well, the other movie is The Life of Brian.
I get, yeah. It's...
It's supposed to be Jesus.
So I wasn't far off on saying I'd do this for free. The extras in the movie were students or tourists that were at where they were filming at the time. It says to get extras for the wedding scene, they asked tourists visiting the castle at the time if they want to be in the movie. Anyone who agreed was given medieval clothes and told to join in the insanity. And it says at the end, Arthur's army was made up entirely of 175 students,
God.
shot from various angles to make it seem as if there were double. There was a casting call sent to the school by the production. Each student got £2, free transportation, food, and an abundance of crazy antics for a day's work.
£2.
Nice.
God fucking damn.
That's like the best. Imagine you're like, you go to England and you're like, wow, look at this castle. This is amazing. John Cleese rocks up and he's like, oi, want to be in a movie? Want to get
John
murdered?
Cleese, when he was still like widely known and popular.
Mm-hmm.
Who was he?
Sorry?
Who was John Cleese?
You might
Maybe.
know the older version
No
of
shit, you fucking cunt.
Wow.
So
Relax.
much fucking venom.
Right?
it. Yeah.
What a hater.
Oh, yeah, I know. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, Faulty Towers. Do you watch Faulty Towers?
Yeah.
I thought you would.
He's so good.
It's weird seeing him younger because, like, I know old.
Look at that
John Cleese.
He
photo
still
of
looks
him in
old,
The
though.
Guardian. Wait, look at it. Go up
Which one?
and to the right. Down. Look at that. Open that.
Jesus
What is
Christ.
that?
It's The Guardian.
Ugh.
BBC.
Go up to the top. Up, now, down one. Down one. Middle left.
All the way up the top.
Middle left.
Middle left. Middle left. The middle of the screen.
Ah, to the
All
left.
the way to the
oh,
left.
where he's really young.
There you go.
Open the young one.
Yeah.
God, use your words, man.
Middle left. It describes everything.
Middle column,
Yeah.
middle row, middle what?
Go left, then the middle.
Go to the middle left.
That's the top.
This is the middle
It's
now.
the
That's
top.
just the
It's the
middle
middle
at
of this
point.
It's
column
the
by
middle of
going
everything.
left.
It's just the middle at that
Look,
point.
the point is, you're all wrong.
Like they're all probably dead now.
You're suckers.
What? Michael Palin played the most roles. So how many? Palin was 12 people.
Fucking hell.
Oh, wow. So he was Sir Galahad, Dennis the repressed peasant, a mud villager, a singing Camelot knight, the right head of the three-headed knight, the king of the swamp castle, a wedding guest, Brother Maynard's assistant, the main knight who says knee, a French taunting knight, and the narrator. Wow. That's a lot of people.
And the narrator.
And then the person who had the fewest characters was 4 people.
Fucking hell.
What? What? So you're like, oh man, I'm doing the least amount of roles in this movie. And they're like, how many are you? 4?
Only
Like,
4 people.
shit.
Most people are 1 people.
It's like watching those cheap movies like Epic Movie and Disaster Movie where the actors all play like 3
Multiple
or 4 different
people.
characters. Yeah.
It felt like watching Eddie Murphy in anything Eddie Murphy's been in. It
He
was
did one thing.
It was Spot John Cleese. That's what we watched.
Alright.
Well,
Let's get on to
alright.
things. If there's anything else,
Favorite scenes?
what's your favorite, I guess, skit in this?
The black screen at the end.
Stop.
That's
It's
no, he's
so-
that is one technically.
That was the
count.
only
Because
thing.
it was supposed to be credits, and
Yeah.
you watch it and it's not fucking credits.
It was the only thing in the whole movie that actually gave me a smile or a giggle. The rest of it was just like, really?
It's so petty. It's like, the credits are at the start, you fucks. Don't wait for them. And then you get to the end, it's like black and nothing. It's pretty good.
I don't. It's a toss-up between the repressed peasants
I think because I'm older, I like that one more now.
and
Yeah.
Bring Out the Dead.
Bring out.
I'm not
dead.
I feel better.
They do that one so many times.
I think mine is maybe the witch scene.
Oh, that
Because
one's great
that's
too.
so dumb. The
Yeah.
whole thing gets dumber and dumber.
I love it there, and she's like, fair cop.
Yeah.
It's so fucking illogical.
And then I'd still say the Black Knight. It's been my favourite since I was a kid.
Yeah, yeah.
I love the Black Knight, but I think one of the funniest and that kept me laughing now was the whole saving the prince scene.
Oh, that's still one of your
From the
favourites?
running. So
Oh.
like even when he shoots the arrow at the window,
Oh, when he's looking at him, he's like,
and he just scribbles on some paper,
and they're just
shoots it
they're
out
just
the window.
smiling at him.
Yeah, because he's looking at them, he's like, and he just does scribbles, and then when he gets it, it's this neat little like paragraph. It's so annoying.
Just the killing of all the people. Just it's so funny.
And
I
it's
do
little-
like the 2 guards though. The 2 guards that are guarding him, they're just smiling and like fucking morons.
Even when he comes in, the guards are like, "Hey," like, and don't even do anything.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
It's bad. It's good bad.
What's your least favorite then?
Ooh, least favorite.
The end. Anything to do with the police and arresting him and the murder.
Yeah,
That
that's probably
it didn't get me.
the ending I hate.
Mm.
I
Which
still hate
murder was it that they were at?
The
in the middle of the
historian.
So yeah, there's a part where
Oh, the historian.
yeah, he's meant to be riding past,
Yeah.
and he just slashes him.
For
Kills
no
him at the
reason.
start.
I know, that's out of the blue, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do we know which one it was, or was they just a knight did it and they are?
I think it was no, it wasn't Arthur. It was just, I don't know. Maybe they got framed.
No, it was one of the Gallahan or whatever. I can't remember the
Yeah,
knight's
I think it was
name.
We'll
one
have to
whose
look at the
story was
colours
being told.
again to see which one it actually was. It might have been one of them.
But just think, like, because they're filming a documentary, he would have just ridden past, like, cameras, his wife, like, everyone was just
Wait a
there.
minute, they had a fucking horse.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Is that the one horse?
It's the one horse they could afford. They're
It'd be
like, we need
so
a horse for the murder.
Great if they were just filming a documentary at the time they were making the movie, and so they've just included
just
this
used
in there.
them.
And they actually killed him.
Yeah, that'd be so great.
That
It's
would be great.
cheaper.
That'd actually make the movie funny then.
Jesus.
See? Raise your score. Come on now.
Right, his least favorite.
Oh, wait.
I
Beating the
can't-
cat was funny.
Wow, you like to?
I thought you'd
cruelty?
be like, oh, I wonder how she's going to think about
Nah,
it.
Nah, look.
Funniest.
It's just
It's
Yeah.
bad, but it's like it's so dumb and it goes on for too long.
I know.
And it goes for too long to the point where you're like, okay, stop. And then it goes a few more and you're like, it's funny again. It's
And then
like-
they stop.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know about least favorite.
Hmm.
Shit.
Don't know.
Like it's probably the getting arrested by the police.
Yeah.
Like it's funny, but it's not on the same scale of funny as everything
No.
else.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
almost seems like they didn't know 100% how to end it.
No, they should have been launching shit at them again, like they did in the other castle.
It sounds like originally the movie was going to be set in medieval and modern times, and eventually it was going to end with them going to London and finding the Holy Grail in a Harrods store. So they changed that idea, but I don't know how they quite ended up with
Is
the
that actually
murder.
how it was supposed to go?
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
Well, like they're old and they find it, or
No, I imagine it's just they
Or do they
somehow
literally just-
travel to London and they just...
Because they're just in Scotland around this castle.
Yeah.
Like, so it may not even be medieval times.
What about when they're doing the little thing and they're going through the seasons and then it's like, and it skipped spring and autumn and it
All
went back
together
to,
and went
like-
straight back to
or whatever
summer
it
or
does.
something.
Yeah, it's like, what? No. So how long has it been? A year and a half? Or like 2
Not sure.
years? Seasons don't matter. And the weather has legs, so...
It's so weird.
it's like, who are the weird priests singing with the robes?
Oh, I love
in that little skit though,
hitting
and he's like,
themselves
whoa,
with
whoa,
the
whoa,
wood.
whoa, and like jumps off and
Yeah.
like dives in.
They do the little animated part. Of
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Wait, what else annoyed me?
The animated scene with the monsters, like they didn't know how to finish it,
Yeah.
so they just said the animator died.
The
It's like,
animator had a heart attack.
it's like, yeah, that's not right.
Also, the guy carved in.
I know. He's like, I don't think he would have wrote. He would have just stopped writing.
Also, what was the knight's second name? Was it Iki 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 Ote
Oh.
Nga?
It's Eki 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 Kabang, and then I can never remember the last couple of bits.
It's like knights who so formally said me.
And they don't like the word it.
It is that
And it's
one?
like, no, I've said it. I've said it again. I've said it 3 times.
It always seems like he wasn't planned to say it, and then just rolled with it after that. scene.
Yeah, and they're all just crawling on the ground. So dumb.
What about when they're around the old lady and they're like, knee?
Yeah. And he goes,
No.
and he has to pull his guard back, and he's like, no. and the shrubber is like, is this what we live in now? This is the age we live in where you can say knee to old women. Like,
It's so weird. Like, how do they come up with knee? It's fucking
Knee.
tormenting. Oh shit.
It's so dumb. I think it's because the fact of how people actually look like they don't like it. And it's just really weird seeing to act out when people say knee to you. You're like, stop it.
wait, I didn't like when the weird woman that lives in the tower breaks character and talks to the camera for way too long.
I actually love that part.
I hate that.
Because it does feel like that too. And she's like, I don't know, should the scene have been cut?
Yeah, when she's
Because it
just-
kind of goes on.
Nah, that.
And then
when you're
everyone's like, get on with it.
Yeah.
And you just see things ahead of the movie that you haven't even seen
Yeah,
yet.
like
Yeah.
the army.
And Tim.
Yeah, you see Tim like half an hour before he comes into it. It's great. It's great.
Fucking Tim.
Oh shit.
Mighty Sorcerer, do you have another name? Tim. It's like,
Tim. Alright, so
do we have to fuck someone?
Who are you going to fuck?
I'm
marry,
on the
and
whole
kill?
maiden's fucking the whole maiden tower.
You
Yeah,
can't do the whole tower.
can
I'm
marry.
pretty sure they'd let me.
You can marry
That is-
into it.
That is true. You'd marry Zoot.
Marry Zoo.
Bad
No, wait,
Zoot, naughty Zoot.
Who's the other one? Who's the twin
Zoot's
sister?
sister. Did she even have a sister?
No.
No, she did not have a
Mental.
sister.
She's so mental. She's like, bad Zoot, naughty Zoot. Zoot needs to be punished. Punish all of
The
us.
fucking grail shaped light.
Yeah, the
The
beacon.
beacon.
Grail-shaped beacon.
How many fucking knights are they trying to draw in?
All of them.
Fuck it up.
Oh, and I'll kill the prince.
Oh yeah, he needs to die.
Oh, look, I don't really want to pick. I don't know that any of those are... There's not really many good male options for me, actually.
Definitely not.
Okay, look. I
Please,
think,
come on.
yeah,
Well,
I'm
that's
going to
Sir
do
Robin.
something to
Sir
Tim.
Robin!
Something's got to happen with Tim. I just don't know what.
That's the Khaleesi pick, Tim.
Yeah, Tim. I think
What about the
I'd
French
marry
guys?
Tim.
Fuck the French guys.
Wee wee.
They're the most annoying. When they come out of the tower, are they saying wee wee when they get the rabbit?
Yeah. It's like, it's a present, wee wee. Because they don't know fucking French. Oh,
It was great.
So dumb.
boy.
Mutton?
What? Sorry. Who would I kill? The whole fucking
You
cast.
can't do that. It's naughty.
Fine, Arthur, because then the rest of the movie wouldn't have happened.
Oh, it'd happen.
No.
It would
They found a
happen.
way.
Life finds a way, Martin.
Don't fucking talk Jurassic Park to me.
What, you got a problem with Jurassic Park now?
No, I just finished watching them all.
Really? Ah, you're gonna
What?
hate my power play.
Jurassic Park. Alright,
And
Can't
pick
remember
Monty
its gonna
Python
sound
again.
No, Life of Ryan.
Yeah.
alright. Critical then.
Oh yeah, scoring. Get ready to write it down.
This is going to be a tough critical.
You really
because...
can't give it much because it doesn't have anything to...
No,
How
because
dare you.
we've already established that comedies,
In
the
their
main,
own
the
realm.
main thing they have is the comedy. That's
Mhm.
the main portion of the points. So, but the production values are so low, it's very hard to decide what I actually want to give it and be fair.
I think even if they had a budget of $40 million, they would have kept it exactly as
They're
it
just
is.
like, we still have $39 million left over.
And they're like,
We'll
shit,
finish
I
the
guess
movie."
we
They probably
split
would have
it.
used dumb scenes of just the wasting the money somehow.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
That's what they would have done with it.
Yeah.
Oh,
Actually built the fucking Trojan rabbit
Just
instead of it being a model.
and then got
oh, the rabbit
inside.
was built.
Was that real?
It looked real.
No, because
were
when they
pushing
fire the
it.
catapult, you see it smash.
Yeah.
Is that where all their budget went?
Yeah.
Probably.
Just because you see it smash doesn't mean it wasn't a model. They could have made that
Yes.
look...
It looked,
It
pretty
looked like
real.
it. Yeah, it looked like
it
it.
looked weighty.
Yeah, it must have been bigger than just like a small one. Maybe it was like.
Although they can't, it can't have been as it looked because then they would have had to.
It was probably
throw
something
it
they hoisted up
and then
just
dropped it and made it look like
Yeah.
it came from the castle.
But it
Yeah.
smashed like it looked like real wood and stuff like that when it broke.
I think. Sorry, I'm thinking about my critical. I think my critical's a 4. Because I feel like they made it exactly how they wanted to make it.
I think this
No,
is
I-
the one movie that might break then what all the others need to be judged as.
Why?
Because then they need to be judged as what their goal is, I guess.
No,
Yeah,
it's-
but that's how I sort of judge them anyway.
Yeah, I was
No.
kind of doing the similar, but this
But-
one really breaks that.
But at the same time, like, if the comedy was super on point, they've lost points for production values. So, like, I was thinking 4, just because, like,
Wow.
the humor alone was like 5 or
No.
10
Yeah,
out
see,
of
I mean,
10.
yeah, like it's let's say if everything went to 1, this kind of goes past that sort of thing.
It's just like the humor was like a 6 or a 7 out of 5, and then like the production values bring it back down to like
Yeah.
realms of reality.
Hmm.
But I don't know. What
Wow.
the humor, I love it, man. It is like one of the
See,
funniest movies.
You're using the humor is funny, so it gives the critical. To me, the humor was bad for me. The whole set was bad. So there's
Oh yeah, so if you didn't like the humor,
this
like,
has got
it would be like a
Yeah,
1.
but that's
But
the
it-
same
it's
as
bad on
Liar Liar
purpose.
and anything. No, but that's the same as Liar Liar and all that.
yes, but Liar still has some good like the sets, everything is
yeah,
looks
yeah.
good.
Yeah,
No,
but-
So
I get that.
the production value is good in that.
Like in this
So-
movie, it's all the humor. If you don't like the humor, then there's not much there for you.
No,
They did a good job
Wait,
setting up the filthy
Actually,
villages.
I was going to say, to be fair, if we're going to go by sets, then they were in Scotland. They were real castles.
The villages looked real. The people
So
were
there was
filthy.
no set.
People were so filthy.
so there was no set. They were just in their own backyard.
yeah.
Yeah.
So they didn't use any budget.
Well,
They
then that's the
did.
same as Liar Liar. They just went to an actual courthouse.
Yeah,
and
how
No,
dare they
no,
go
there
to
was-
a building?
There was some good scenes in Liar when it comes to budget though.
Oh, when
The
he's
plane.
on the plane, yeah.
Yeah,
and
that's
he's
the
on
only one I
truck.
could think of
The-
that would
the
have
right-
to
Probably
be.
just a blue screen.
I don't
green
know.
screen or whatever it is.
He's mental. He actually did that.
He did not do that. He's not Tom Cruise.
He might be. Is his tooth in the middle of his head? Fucking Tom Cruise. If you're listening, get your teeth fixed.
Like, if I could go 3.75 for critical, I would.
You
but-
can't.
I can't give it
Just can't.
3.5. I can't bring myself to go that low.
That's what I mean. It's a
So it's
4.
4. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm trying to think of. We haven't done many
Wow.
comedies.
Nah, we've done shit like
The
Bad Boy
funniest part about
Buddy
this whole
and-
movie to me is this discussion.
How dare you?
But, like, I really appreciate, though, that if you didn't like the humor, that I can see
It would
you
drag
putting it,
on for
like,
you.
at a 1.5.
See,
maybe.
So I've seen their flying circus stuff, which I actually didn't mind. But this movie just like, no, I just couldn't do it. I think even Life of Brian I've seen on bits and pieces of, and that wasn't too bad.
Life of Brian has some really funny, memorable moments, but it's nowhere near this.
Yeah, this is just continuing funniness the entire way through. Right. In fact, the only slow part is saving the prince, but that's still funny in its own
Yeah,
right.
it needed to be in there for that guy.
Yeah.
So it just took so long. Alright, you writing them down? You writing them down?
What? Oh, we actually. I thought we were still trying to discuss like.
No,
you know, how it
we've
should
had
work.
3 people say numbers. Come on, man.
3 people?
I'm just making him feel bad.
It's 2 of us.
I was critter.
4.
Just wow. Really?
What's up?
4.
Can I give it a 0?
No.
Fine.
The
1.
mud was so textured.
No, it was
The mud was so textured.
It was just the ground.
Yeah, and they touched it.
It was bad.
It deserves at least a
It
1.
deserves
It's
a
good.
Just
It's getting
for
a
the
1.
intro with the coconuts, or is that?
It's getting a 1.
And
because
then
it
when
wasn't-
he pulls up on the horse, it's
It gets a 1 for the credit joke.
at the beginning.
No, at the end. That's the only good thing about that movie. So it's not the credits itself. It was just the fact that there's just music there and just cuts off.
Yeah. What do you give it?
I haven't come up with it. I'm still trying to decide.
It's hard, eh?
Because, like, yeah, technically but it's made to be bad. Do you know what I mean?
But the point is, like, that had it had a high budget set and everything, and their humor was still on point.
We had a higher budget.
Like,
for the set.
I couldn't see myself giving it anything less than a 5.
Yeah.
So if I
I
had a
guess the only
higher budget for
question-
the set, it'd probably be okay. I could give it a higher score.
Yeah.
But because I didn't find it funny, the whole movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I originally watched it on the TV in the lounge room through the
Yeah.
Blu-ray.
Yeah.
I was like, this really doesn't need to be watched on this. So I went to the bedroom and watched it on the old Sony TV that Kane gave me
Yeah,
for my 30th or whatever.
Yeah.
And it looked no different. And that TV's dying now, where the shadows and things just blur into one. I was like, wow, it looks exactly the same on here than what it did on the 4K TV.
Like the boat scene when they're coming out in the fog and it's so hard to see.
Mm.
That was bad. But it's 1975 and they had 1 camera.
No, it's just that's how it looked back.
They
in
had half a
1975.
They had 1 camera.
It was half a camera.
1 and then it broke and they could
was like-
only do close-ups
It was
for a
what you
while.
classify as a handicap nowadays.
Is that actually true?
Yeah.
What
They
was
had their camera broke and they couldn't do anything with sound or something. Like they had to anyway. it
That's
got-
so great.
Jesus Christ.
They managed, guys.
I think I'll go 3.
3.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, Martin the second.
Hey, I wonder if it was public knowledge that those bands supported the movie,
And it made people go see it.
and it made people go watch the movie. Maybe they because they would have been actively famous, not just famous for works they'd done in the past. They would have been in the spotlight, and perhaps they were telling people like, "We're part of this" and stuff like that, and that
Sponsored
helps.
by Pink Floyd.
It might have helped. Honestly, it seems like one of those movies that if it done well, people would have just went back and watched it again, and the word of mouth would have spread.
I know they didn't have the
Yeah.
internet.
And if anyone liked,
did they even
the
have
skit
color
stuff-
TVs?
yeah, if anyone liked the skits beforehand, they would have gone and seen it straight
Yeah.
away.
Yeah. There was nothing to do in those little towns. Everyone went. Saved up their potatoes and off they went. Cost 9 potatoes for a ticket, Aaron.
9 potatoes for a ticket.
Because it's like, all right, if they set out to do what they're trying to do, then wouldn't that be they achieved it? Like that's critically.
Yeah, but you've still got to look at the set and props and if they had more money, they could have spent more money.
They could have gone to the city and finished the movie like they wanted to.
Yeah, actually, no, that's a good point. It hindered them in that sense.
But did it?
Maybe
Was
they
it a
just ran
matter
out
of
of
money,
money.
or they didn't want to do that anymore? They wanted to do the murder because they thought it was funnier.
That's what makes me feel like they just came across a guy doing a documentary.
Yeah.
And they just like fucking ad-libbed
They
that shit
pretend
in.
to kill him, and then they're like, "Fuck, can we put this in the movie?"
Yeah.
See, I would have found it funny if they actually went to London and found a Holy Grail, and like just in a Swift shop.
Like, there's just modern people walking around, and then these knights ride in with their dumb coconuts right into the general store and like pick up a random gold cup, and they're like, "The goblet."
Yeah, see, I would have found that funny.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd been pretty good.
would have been pretty good.
Yeah, I think the ending is definitely a hindrance there.
Actually, I would love it for it to make no sense whatsoever. They defeat the French, get through the castle. They go in through the castle doors and just somehow walk into modern London and find it. And it'd just be like, what?
Well, actually, the better way, when they get on the boat,
Yeah.
it
They
just
ride
takes
to
them.
London.
It just takes them to London,
Yeah, that would have been
where
good.
they hop off and then just
Yeah.
go to the store and get it.
Leave their
Or
horses
inside
out
the
front.
castle, they get inside the castle, but it's just like there's just a shop front in there.
Yeah, it's like
Completely modern
bedroom,
shop front.
bathroom,
Yeah.
Harrods.
Yeah.
Like a tourism sort of thing.
Look, other than the ending, it's pretty solid.
It's
But
pretty
like
solid.
in itself, it's still funny, but not on the same level as the rest of the movie.
The fact that we can watch this now in good quality on Netflix, on a big TV, and we're still pissing ourselves laughing and
Yeah.
really enjoying it,
Is a
and not
testament.
nitpicking everything, it's like, it must have done something right.
Yeah.
Because other than the Misty scene with the bow, I didn't notice that many issues with the camera quality. Like, you don't notice it because it's funny.
Yeah.
You just, it was really well done.
Well, I noticed the quality,
Wow.
but that's
That's-
I
But you
Yeah.
ignore it.
No,
Yeah.
you don't.
Yes, you do.
It's
Not with-
old side.
Wait, we have to add Monty to Martin's name. Continue.
Oh,
God damn
God.
it. All right,
The Monty hating Martin.
we've talked it up to 3.5.
Yeah, that's right. You're welcome, Monty.
And personal, Aaron.
Fuck. It's pretty fucking high up there.
Yeah, it's
I don't. I've been resisting giving anything a 5, but I think
You've
this
given
is
two
this is my
things
5
fives,
for
but-
personal. I fucking love this movie.
It's a lot
But you
funnier
don't like
than
the
I expected it to be.
ending.
So yeah, it's true.
And there's still,
4.5.
it's.
Yeah.
I'd go
I was gonna say-
4.75 if we could do the 4.75.
Stop fucking
I'm
saying
doing
7.5.
4.5.
No, we should be doing 0.25 increments.
It loses half a point for that ending.
What was
Do
yours,
that
Aaron?
for our birthdays.
4.5.
Martin?
Man,
1.
He gave it a 2.
you're killing
He
me,
gave
Martin.
it a 2
You're
out of 10.
killing me, Martin. Monty,
That's
the Marine.
what, like he liked
Eminem.
fucking what's that one that he hated.
The one that he hated.
That's all the movies. But
Goodfellas?
nah.
I'd rather watch Goodfellas over this.
Goodfellas.
I've actually gone back and watched Goodfellas all the way through.
You did?
Yeah.
Would
It's
you like
still-
to change your
Change your
score?
score?
No, if I change the score, it
How?
would be
It's
lower.
got a coherent story, great actors. Like your critical should be.
But I
raised,
still
so
gave
that'll-
Goodfellas a better score than this.
Wait, so what
Oh,
movie
yeah.
did he
Yeah.
hate but like, but not?
A long way down.
No. The dystopian one.
Dystopian one.
Matrix?
AI. I don't know. I've got it right here.
What have we got?
The dystopian one.
Right, go from the bottom.
Wouldn't it just be
Bad
AI?
Boy Bobby.
No.
Mortal Kombat.
No.
Initial D. Pet Cemetery. A Clockwork Orange.
That one.
Crank. Clockwork Orange.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd
Yeah,
rather.
but,
I've watched
5.
Clockwork Orange, and I actually laughed in Clockwork Orange, even though you're not supposed to.
At the rape.
The whole thing.
Just the right.
He's like, ha ha.
But a Clockwork Orange had better scenes than this did.
I went into this thinking personally, I'll probably give this like a 3. I thought it was going to drop for me from that, but it ended up being funny as fuck.
Yeah.
But I still fucking hate that ending
Yeah,
so
same.
much. Like I aggressively hate it. So I'm gonna go 4.
Nah, fair enough.
It's fair. The ending is really irritating.
It's definitely a hard one to score because, like, it is a low budget but it's a comedy,
Yeah.
and so the comedy
But
was
I
on
think we
point.
need to definitely think about that for future ones of like the genre should matter and the point
That's
they're
what
set
I
out to
said at
do.
one point.
No,
That's what I said at one point.
because
No,
if the
but
genre
that's-
matters, the comedy would have been a 5.
Well,
Like my critical would have been a 5.
no, because all right, it's
I can't
like the
base
comedy is like puts it up here, but then it's like, all right, now let's bring it down for the misses and stuff.
That's kind of how I do my scoring, I think. I look at what genre it is, what the budget was, when it was, and then I'm kind of like, right, pretend it's at 5, you're losing points for that, you're losing points for that, you're losing points for that.
Yeah, but
Or you can start from bottom and like give it points.
But
Nah,
you're
I find
like,
it easier to take.
I don't think it would have been enough to get it below a 4.75 with those bad, like even the bad ending. I still find that funny. Like I still like laugh at the ending, but it's just not as funny as the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
So if I was to do a deduction and I took like 0.2 off, that still doesn't get it to a score that I can use. I can't say 4.75. So it's still 5
Fucking 7.5. You can't.
because you just make me round things up.
Yeah.
We
or
make
down.
you round.
Make you round.
Yeah.
You are
so,
just round.
So like you're saying that if I'm basing it just off of humor, then it still has to lose
No, not
points.
just
it did,
off of
it
it.
did lose points, but then it got rounded
No,
back
I
up.
feel like you've got your normal one, like your how you think of the critical stuff, but everything else for that category, comedy can go higher. Do you know what I mean? Like above a 1 kind of thing.
Above a 1.
So let's say if you're going to go camera, like, I don't know, everything can be 0 to 1 point of graphics, sound, something. Because the genre it is can go past that 1 point.
So you're saying there's like a point for
Like bonus points kind
visual
of
effects, 1 point for sound,
Yeah,
1
yeah.
point for this, and then 2 points for the genre.
thing. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Because that's what I mean for like
That
me.
would destroy some movies.
Why?
Like this. This would be destroyed by that. They'd get 2 points for comedy, full marks, and then there'd be 1 point for fucking like camera work, so it would get 0. There's a maximum of 1 point, and it's not getting that because the camera
That's
work.
pretty
is
much
not
why
on
I gave
point.
it 3.5. The comedy is what boosts everything up.
Yeah, but the
Critically,
comedy
it
would
looks
be
like-
a maximum of 2.
Yeah, this movie is
So it would
like
it would end up getting a 2 or a 2.5.
3.5. This movie isn't critically looking at it from set pieces and all that. It's no more than a 1.5. The comedy is what pushes it up.
Yeah, exactly. So
Man, you set haters. That village. That filth village.
It looks like
I
the
fucking love it.
It looks like
No,
the village.
it's funny.
There's a YouTube channel, Epic Gaming Mitten or whatever.
Mhm.
They use a village that looks similar to that.
I
Yeah,
wonder if that's where they film the weird NPC videos. Where like you approach
Us?
an NPC
Yeah,
with the
they're-
gun.
that's
Is it
the-
them?
there's the Epic
Ah.
Gamers.
Yeah, I love them.
Yeah.
They're funny.
Anyway,
that looks
so-
like the same
yeah.
village.
What's our total score for the
Okay, let's get out the old
Holy
calculator.
Grail?
Math us. Sorry, maths us. Yeah, that's right.
Just get
Take
some
my
math.
maths.
This movie was so low for you. A 2 out of 10.
Like, I can see why it's funny. I could see why people would find it funny, but I just didn't laugh at it. And because it's a comedy, it's the whole thing. It's supposed to make you
Yeah.
laugh, so
Yeah.
that's why it gets such a low
Oh.
score from
If
me.
you weren't raised on Monty Python, then your
No.
parents need to be reported. I'm sorry.
6.625.
That doesn't sound right at all.
I did give it a very low score.
Yeah, you. Fuck.
That puts
Oh
it...
wait, its maximum was like 7.5 without Martin. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
let's see. That puts it between Goodfellas and A Long Way Down.
At least it's above a long way down.
Under Goodfellas.
I know. Should be way further down than that.
Fuck Goodfellas.
That's not true. You gave it good scores.
Yeah, I know. I still think Goodfellas is far more of a masterpiece than this.
How
don't
dare
know.
you? Nah, man. I'd
Look,
watch
if there's a
this every
movie set
day.
out to do what it's set to do,
Actually-
genre, then fucking Goodfellas is up there.
Goodfellas, what did I give that for critical?
Probably a 0. Would you give
It doesn't break.
3.5.
Oh, is it broken up?
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
them all. Well, actually, I don't know
Is
what his
that his
critical.
total?
His total is 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
We don't know critical.
I think it was like 1.5
Oh, you-
for both.
No.
Oh, well,
It would have been more for
one-
critical.
yeah,
And you would have given
you know
it
what
I mean.
basically nothing for personal.
Yeah. I think I got a 1 for personal.
Because I was going to say that movie was actually well made when you sit there and
It
watch
was
it
incredibly.
properly.
It was
Yeah.
incredibly well made, especially for the time and
The
stuff.
story did bore the hell out of me. Still, it did take me a while to watch it. But
Yeah.
it was. It
Yeah,
looked,
like if you don't like, that's what I think is good about the whole.
Basically, it's an average movie. Then
Was it? That's what's good about
No.
this. Us doing critical and personal.
it's
is
not
that
even an
changes
average
that.
movie.
Goodfellas,
Yeah.
not to me. Like it was made well, yes, like I said, but no, the story to me, just no,
Yeah.
it was crap. So
Well, you gave it 2.5 or 3.5.
3.5 all up.
Would you have given it 4 now that you've watched it all the way through? Total of 4.
Maybe a total of 4 in the end, yeah, because it was done well.
Yeah.
Wow.
I
I
gotta-
go back and watch all the others you gave shit scores to.
I did watch. That's the only one that I never actually watched all the way through. Probably, I kept falling asleep through it.
Hmm.
Like I'd get to.
I'll update this. as
It
well.
is quite dry. It is all story driven. There's not like a lot of action. It's not like comedy.
There's nothing to
So
it for
like
me.
it's just an interesting story.
There's no
and if it's not an
coconuts.
interesting story to you, then
no
there's not
swallows.
Mm-mm.
Much. There's
And
no
to be fair,
swallows.
there's no swallows in Monty Python.
And
Either.
no shrubberies.
There's a dove. They
There's a
tried.
dove. They got a dove. You can get a swallow.
An African swallow, yeah, all right. maybe.
Imagine them being like, "What are swallows?" And they look it
I
up
know.
and they're like, "We can't get one of these. A dove."
A duck.
They're like, "No one's gonna know what a fucking swallow is," so they just get a dove.
All right. I guess to finish off this would be power play. Should we?
Should
a
I
wheel?
do the wheel? Give me a minute.
The wheel who's choosing.
Yeah.
The Wheel of Doom.
So while everyone's choosing,
I've got to fucking think
I'm
of a
just
movie.
gonna pause this.
Fuck.
Oh boy. Oh boy. I haven't thought.
Let's start all these back up again. And the wheel picked Aaron, but he's not ready. So then the wheel picked me, and
I'm not ready.
I could have thought of something better, but I'm going to stick with my theme because Mortal Kombat was my last one. So now I'm going
Street
to pick
Fighter.
Street Fighter movie
That was your pick.
with Jean-Claude Van Damme,
Nice.
an American. No, wait, sorry, he's French Canadian, isn't he?
Yeah.
Aussie? No,
French Canadian.
French Canadian. That's right. Playing an American with his weird dyed hair.
Yeah, it's great.
It's beautiful, beautiful movie, beautiful scenes.
Hopefully, this is better than Mortal Kombat.
We'll see.
They're both good.
We'll see.
Oh,
Oh,
great.
actually, wait. I
It's
guess
gonna be another hard one to
I guess
to score.
prop wise and looks and stuff like that, it's not as extreme. Like you know.
yeah, that's true.
So-
That's the problem. Mortal Kombat tried too hard when it came to their props and that. They tried to put the special effects in there when
It was like
it wasn't
They
very
weren't
viable
ready.
at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's too much to do with special effects in Street Fighter. I think it's more the characters and martial arts and stuff like that.
Can we see the trailer?
Yeah, I can show you afterwards. But that's the movie. Alright.
So Street Fighter. There's no fancy names to it. It's just Street Fighter.
I think it's called Street Fighter the movie.
Okay.
Wow.
I think that's legit the name.
Just make it easier to
The
find.
movie's called Street Fighter the book.
Yeah, that'd be a good
What a
movie.
read. What a fucking read.
It's like in Monty Python.
Street
when
Fighter, the movie.
It was like the book of the film, remember?
Oh my god. Alright. Thank you all for listening. Check out next time for our review of Street Fighter the movie. It's easily one of the best names ever.
Mm-hmm.
And for the patrons, thank you so much for watching. And the free listeners, thank you so much for watching as well. Leave a like, comment, let us know what your thoughts were on Monty Python. Do you agree with us or Martin? Let the choice be decided.
Are you team Monty Python or are you team
Monty Martin. Or
Or
Monty
team-
Melissa.
Yeah, sure. Yep. I'm not getting new names.
Why? We had M's to him. Why can't we add M's to you?
No one knows my name as it is. I
Well,
have no
everyone does now.
identity.
Should just call him Monty.
Why does that sound like I've heard of like an animal called that name?
My snake was called Monty,
Ah.
and they're dead. You want to remind me of my dead snake, Aaron?
Sure.
Sure.
Wait,
That's fair.
you had a snake named Monty.
My snake was called Monty Python the Python.
Okay.
She ended up being
Monty
a girl.
Python the Python.
Yeah, the
You
people
didn't
at the
even need that.
the people at the shop were like, "You're calling it what?" And I'm like, "Hello, Monty," and they're like, "Monty's cute," and I'm like, "Monty Python the Python," and they're like, "Don't."
They're like, yeah, we're not selling it to you.
She was a good snake.
All right. Hopefully, I didn't forget anything. Till next time. Ta ta.
Should have done the Army of Darkness.
Ta-ta.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
NPC